I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is election day, primary elections, to get out and vote. And I also like to ask everyone to vote for Michael Jackson, for county executive. It's voting day tomorrow, September 14th. Elections end on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I've asked you here today to report on my continued search, my fact-finding mission that began last Friday to search for my opponent's career. What I've found is quite disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see how a man could seek the office to lead the county of Prince George's with such a lack of experience. When I met with you on Friday, I told you that I couldn't find Rashawn Baker's accomplishments of any development in the District of Columbia. We started on U Street and we moved over to Georgia Avenue and we found nothing. However, what we did find is that he was the general counsel for the People's Involvement Corporation, where they had to return nearly millions of dollars in grant funds for uncompleted projects or projects that they didn't even start. Now, Mr. Baker has claimed his success in economic development during this entire campaign. We also found that while serving under the Wayne Carey administration as general counsel for the Redevelopment Authority, Mr. Baker missed nearly half of the meetings scheduled for that organization and collected paychecks. I'm also aware that while in elective office 8 years ago, Mr. Baker was instrumental in taking away the voting rights for the citizens of Prince George's County to vote for a school board. Now, how hypocritical is that, where you ask the very same people whose rights to vote you took away to now vote for you? Let's remember, this is the third time he's asked for their vote. They've already rejected him, or you've already rejected him, once in 2002, secondly in 2006. We also found out that Mr. Baker, who happens to be a lawyer, by the way, has ignored the court system that he serves for. He is an officer of the court, and he has avoided going to court on court order summonses twice. So from January to July of this year, Mr. Baker was driving around our county campaigning on a suspended driver's license. He had also been cited with an expired registration about a year ago. So this is a person who is an officer of the court ignoring court orders. How can someone who can't produce not one concrete accomplishment, not one concrete accomplishment, someone who doesn't show up for work, someone who betrays the voters, someone who thumbs his nose at the court system, run a $2.6 billion organization? We're standing here today outside my opponent's latest endeavor, Community Teachers Institute. This is where Mr. Baker has received over $600,000 in salaries, but he can't show that he produced anything except deficits, and he hasn't even paid his taxes. Everybody has to pay taxes. So once again, he has thumbed his nose to the system. Last week during a debate, Mr. Baker promised that he would submit a list of those who he had trained, his organization had trained teachers for our school system. He has yet, once again, failed. He has failed to submit that list of trained teachers. My opponent is someone who cannot deliver. My opponent is someone who has never delivered. Don't forget, you've already rejected him twice. I ask you, the members of the media, challenge his record. My record has been challenged. Challenge his record on accomplishments. What has he done over the last 8 years besides collect paychecks, not pay his taxes, and run for office? The difference between Michael Jackson and Rashawn Baker is that I have a myriad of accomplishments. My agency has been nationally recognized in 4 arenas: for our child support enforcement unit efforts, for our domestic violence intervention efforts, for our school resource program, and for our Explorer program, which is bringing young people into our agency to teach them and to guide them. I run a countywide agency and an award-winning agency, and I have balanced budgets, ladies and gentlemen. I've been elected twice countywide to serve the citizens of Prince George's County. I want to thank you for taking your time out today. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
A local union put out a lot of information about you and things that are going on with you under the sheriff's department. How do you respond to that union's pamphlets and the information that they put out in there?
Okay, well, first of all, let's make a correction. That's not a local union. That union's out of New York. That's SEIU, Service Employees International Union out of New York. They don't live here in Prince George's County. They know nothing about Michael Jackson. They know nothing about my accomplishments over the last 8 years.
How do you respond to the allegations that they made in that pamphlet?
What allegations?
I think they were complaining about the incident where the dogs got shot at the mayor's house.
Well, they don't know the facts of that case. We've been dealing with that for over 2 years. They don't live here in Prince George's County. The local unions here have not come out and complained against me.
You've been campaigning for months now. 2 days before the primary, the county executive officially comes out to endorse you. Would you say that was because they were fearful that you were trailing in the polls? And what do you say to those people who think that you and Mr. Johnson are two peas in a pod?
Well, first of all, that trailing, never. All right. Secondly, Mr. Johnson, he and I, two peas in a pod. Mr. Johnson and I have worked together very well over the last 8 years, and that's about it. I work for the people of Prince George's County. If they're comparing me to the accomplishments over the last 8 years of this county, I'll take it. But I'm Michael Jackson. I run my own agency. I have a record to stand on, and you know, we look forward to the election night tomorrow. I hope you guys are going to be there to cover it as we move Prince George's County forward.